Welcome to Today's Issues, a community service program informing you of the issues and events in the four-state area. Now, here are the issues for today on KNEO 91.7 FM.
Good morning. This is Luke Taylor with a Capitol Report update. State Representative Lane Roberts is with us today. He's sharing about House Bill 2134, which will cut back on Missouri funds that are being used to facilitate abortions in other states. He'll share about that and more now.
Hi, this is Lane Roberts from House District 161. So last week in the legislature, we actually moved some stuff out, and we were able to get some things truly agreed and finally passed. House Committee substitute for House Bill 2634 was a budget bill, and it essentially prohibits the use of public funds to be used for abortion facilities that are affiliates of Planned Parenthood. The problem here is that although there been no abortions in Missouri, Planned Parenthood will, on occasion, refer people to facilities out of state, and some public funds get used in that regard, and this prohibits that kind of conduct, particularly for Medicaid. We also passed a bill for initiative petition reform. The Senate had stripped out what they referred to as ballot candy, and the House put it back. Yeah, I think it's important that people understand what we're trying to accomplish here. There's a significant difference between the idea that all citizens can vote as opposed to only citizens can vote. Words mean something, and in this case, they're very important. So we put that back. We kind of challenged the Senate to step up and be responsible. Stop taking the easy way out when you're talking about the so-called ballot candy. That is not what this is at all. That initiative petition reform requires not only the popular majority vote to pass a change in the Constitution, but it also requires that a majority of the congressional districts. The idea here is much like the nation's electoral college, in that we don't want California and New York dictating Missouri. Neither do we want our primary urban areas dictating the rest of the state. The rest of the state should have a voice as well. And this provision allows for that. It also makes certain that places where they're inviting non-citizens, illegal immigrants in many regards, to come to their community, not to allow those folks to make a vote in a provision that would change our Constitution. That just seems reasonable to me. And I think the Senate needs to be willing to acknowledge that and make sure the public understands it. In addition, House Committee substitute for House Bill 2700 is a comprehensive criminal justice bill. It has some of the same provisions as my House Bill 1659. One of the primary things is that it creates criminal penalties for harm or death caused by delivery of a controlled substance. So if you deliver a substance and it turns out to have some kind of harmful product in it beyond the effects just of the narcotic, you can be held responsible for that. And then one of the things that I think is long overdue is a change in term limits. It's going to be incumbent on those of us who pass this legislation to make sure that the public is well informed. But House Committee substitute for House Joint Resolution 69 won't take effect until December of 2030. That means that nobody who voted on this will benefit in any way from it. But what currently happens is that within 8 years, a person starts and ends their career in the House. And so anybody who doesn't like the legislation or the attitude of the moment simply has to outlast them and they start again. And what it really means is that only lobbyists and people who work for representatives are the only ones with any institutional knowledge or memory. It doesn't eliminate term limits. To the contrary, it simply says that you're limited to 16 years in both houses. So you could do, say, 14 years in the House or 12 years in the House and 4 years in the Senate. You could do all 16 years in one or the other. But the limit is 16 years. But it does preserve the institutional knowledge and allows us to make sure that we don't have people who just outweight people who disagree with them, who were never elected to represent people in the first place.
161st District State Representative Lane Roberts can be reached at his Jefferson City office at 573-751-3791.
This has been Today's Issues. For more information about the issues you've just heard, call 417-451-5636. Today's Issues is presented as a public service of KNEO 91.7 FM, a Sky High radio network.